Next is construction cost. So the total cost involved in a construction project is said to be the construction cost. Okay, so the construction cost includes part of the overall cost incurred during the development of a building. Very broadly, construction cost will be those costs incurred by the actual construction works themselves. On some projects, it may be determined by the value of the contract with the main contractor. Many projects will also include cost that it is not possible to determine when the construction contract is awarded. There may be construction work that are awarded by a client outside of the main contract, such as fitting out the interior, minor alteration to the completed work, installation of equipment, and so on. Hence, the contract is likely to allow for the contract sum to be adjusted due to variation to the works, claims for loss, and expense or fluctuation. It is because of these unknown that clients are advised to hold a contingency. As a result, what is considered the actual construction cost of a project may not be finally determined until well after the actual construction work have been completed. Then we can classify construction cost into direct and indirect cost. So we can see one by one. Okay, the direct cost, it includes cost of materials, labor, and other expense which can be identified with the execution of work. It is divided into like direct material cost. It includes purchase cost, transportation cost, that is expense for means of transportation, custom clearance, insurance, and other handling charges, that is loading, unloading, such those things. Site manufacturing and fabrication cost, example, window, door, reinforcement fabrication, etc. So those things we consider as a direct material cost. Direct labor cost, it covers net expense of procurements, maintenance, and wages of all category of workers employed for execution of the project. It includes basic wages and overtime allowances, recruitment expenses, transportation and accommodation expenses, benefits and bonus like earned leave, provident fund, gratuity, bonus, insurance, medical, etc. The other direct expenses are all other expense on account of service rendered which can be directly attributed to and clearly identified with the execution of an activity or work item. It includes special purpose plant or and machinery, subcontracted items, hired resource cost, temporary activities, special consultancy works, or investigation if occurred. Second one is indirect cost or overhead cost. It includes all costs which are attributable to the project but cannot be identified with the performance of a specific activity. It may vary up to 35%. Then we can classify this as indirect material costs, that is tradesman tools, minor equipments, and other consumable materials like lubricants, cotton waste, grease, etc. It says indirect labor cost, salary, and wages of supervisors, salary and wages of other indirect workers like advisors and other experts. So what will happen if your project work uh, time duration is keep on extending? These wages will also keep on extending. Other indirect expense like plant hiring cost, uh, land rent, like tower crane, rent, etc. So such those things will come under. Classification of indirect cost based on performance consideration. Okay, the first one is production overhead. Indirect expenses associated with processes used in the construction site. It includes indirect manpower, indirect materials, and other indirect expense incurred in construction. It is also known as site overhead. External support service cost. Indirect manpower, materials, and other indirect expenses of functional setups concerned with providing technical and logistic support to production center. It includes technical design and quality control centers, materials at site manufacturing service, equipment supply service, personal and security services, general services including temporary works and camp utility services. Administration overhead, indirect manpower, material, and other indirect expenses incurred in the project management for direction, control, and administration of the project, which includes office management cost, planning and coordination management cost, technical management cost, marketing costing and contract management cost, resource management cost, finance and risk management cost. Home office overhead. It represents the expense related to the operation and services rendered by the home office. It includes consultants fee, legal expenses, licensing charge, site visit, taxes, insurance, etc. The classification of indirect cost based on behavior. You can see the first one is variable indirect cost, second one is fixed indirect cost, third one is semi-variable indirect cost. Okay, so the variable cost is like with respect to output, the cost, the volume is keep on increase very linearly. You can easily identify, okay, based upon the volume of output, the cost is linearly getting varied. Okay, we already know, I already explained earlier that indirect cost keep on increasing with respect to time. Next is fixed indirect cost. Here the volume is not get changed, it is fixed, the cost is fixed throughout the output. And semi variable indirect cost is the combination of uh, the fixed indirect cost and variable indirect cost. Thank you.